Supersized Smackdown, as the name indicates, will be a 2.5-hour episode of WWE Smackdown as opposed to our weekly fare of 2 hours. The show is packed, because for 1 week only, the show is moving to FS1. It is common knowledge that not as many people watch FS1 as they do Fox, meaning that WWE is entering into this battlefield, all guns blazing. There are even rumors that if this experiment works out successfully, Smackdown may become a 3-hour show. Supersized Smackdown is also up against AEW Rampage for 30 minutes. Tony Khan has been very vocal about taking the fight to Vince McMahon, even taking a shot at the quality of Raw in an interview. In light of all of these things, Supersized Smackdown needs to be filled with surprises galore. These are 5 surprises that could potentially happen during the show. As always, feel free to agree or disagree in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts and views. Number 5, at Supersized Smackdown this week, Brock Lesnar destroys both King of the Ring competitors. One of the highlights of the Supersized Smackdown contest this week is the King of the Ring match between Finn Balor and Sami Zayn. Could both men be taken out of the competition when Brock Lesnar shows up at Supersized Smackdown? This could set up a situation where the seeds of a future Cesaro or Finn Balor match with Brock Lesnar are sown. Both men will have a bone to pick with the Beast Incarnate going forward. Meanwhile, on the Raw side, it allows Kofi Kingston a chance to slide back into the King of the Ring tournament. Maybe we could still see a Kofi Kingston vs Xavier Woods match in final round of the King of the Ring tournament at Crown Jewel. Number 4, Charlotte Flair destroys both Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks during their big match. There's no way we'll have a clear winner in the Supersized Smackdown contest between Sasha Banks vs Becky Lynch. Both of these women will clash in Saudi Arabia in a matter of days, so you cannot show a conclusive winner at this stage. This is why the WWE Raw Women's Champion could show up at Supersized Smackdown to make the show even bigger. She could destroy both women in the contest following the events on Raw this past week. Number 3, Xia Li shows up at Supersized Smackdown as Sonya Deville's aide. It just seems a little premature for Sonya Deville to be making her in-ring return, doesn't it? It seems far more likely that she will tease a return, and someone like Xia Li could be introduced as her aide, who takes her place instead. Supersized Smackdown is a great place for Li to make her first stand. It's a special show and one has to believe that it will be a newsworthy show. Number 2, the Viking Raiders have a showdown with the Usos. Could Supersized Smackdown be the site of the first major blue brand raid for the Viking Raiders? The Usos haven't really had much competition when it comes to their titles lately. This could change on Supersized Smackdown if the Viking Raiders show up to the plate and throw the gauntlet down. This could be a glimpse into the looking glass of what awaits us on Friday nights moving forward. Number 1, Dominic Mysterio finally turns heel at Supersized Smackdown on his father. The living legend Dutch Mantel has been vocal about his frustrations regarding Dominic Mysterio for a while now. On Sportskeeda's Smack Talk, he's expressed how everyone can see the heel turn coming from a mile away and urged WWE to pull the trigger soon. The turn could certainly come at Supersized Smackdown this week considering how Dominic Mysterio cost his father a spot in the King of the Ring tournament last week. With the whole world watching, Rey Mysterio could fall victim to his son's heelish ways. While Becky Lynch is an arrogant heel on WWE television, she recently broke character to share how motherhood has changed her perspective on social media. During her life away from the squared circle this year, Lynch married fellow WWE superstar Seth Rollins on June 29. Before that, she had given birth to their daughter, Rue, last December. WWE UK sent us a transcript from a recent interview featuring the SmackDown Women's Champion, during which she highlighted her diminished presence on social media as of late. Becky Lynch noted that she has become particularly aware of how young people are affected by it and knows that her real-life decisions hold much more weight since the birth of her child. One thing I find I look at differently now, that I am mother, is social media, and how that affects people, and how it affects young people in particular. Lynch continued, "You may have noticed, but I don't really post as much anymore, and it's very much around the narrative of how we empower women to use our voices in an appropriate way, especially when there is so much noise all the time. I think I am very much still trying to figure all that out, but I think anything I do has that much more weight to it now I am a mom." During the October 4th episode of Monday Night Raw, the SmackDown Women's Champion kicked off the show with a promo. Becky Lynch recently said on Out of Character with Ryan Satin that she put her daughter to bed right after that opening segment and then reappeared on Raw to do commentary for Bianca Belair vs Charlotte Flair. Lynch will defend her title against Belair and Sasha Banks at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view on October 21st. Which superstar are you rooting for in this triple threat contest? Let us know in the comments section below. It's been 2.5 months since Bray Wyatt, real name Wyndham Rotunda, was released from his WWE contract, and the wrestling world continues to await the announcement of his next stop. Wyatt was unexpectedly let go by WWE on July 31st, reportedly because of budget cuts. Wyatt is presumably under a 90-day non-compete clause, and if that's the case, he'll be able to debut for another promotion later this month. Reports have tied the 34-year-old to both AEW and Impact Wrestling. Most recently, it was reported that Impact is the likely landing spot for Wyatt. Although nothing has been confirmed, AEW President and CEO Tony Khan commented on the possibility of his company signing the former Universal Champion during an appearance on WFAN's Moose and Maggie show. In the interview, Khan revealed that AEW hasn't actually had discussions with Wyatt. "He's a great wrestler, and I got to be honest, we haven't really talked at all," Khan explained. "I've known him in personal life, and I've gotten to spend a little bit of time with him, but as far as that, we haven't talked. I saw a bunch of rumors, but that's not something anybody's really talked about. I think, you never know." AEW has recently landed a plethora of former WWE stars, including CM Punk, Andrade El Idolo, Bryan Danielson, Ruby Soho, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole. It obviously wouldn't be surprising if they managed to land Wyatt, but it remains to be seen if the two sides will reach a deal. It's worth noting that Wyatt's former WWE ally, Braun Strowman, is widely expected to join Impact Wrestling. Strowman, who was released from his WWE contract on June 2nd, recently made it clear that he'd like to work with his former Wyatt family leader again. AEW has done an excellent job in maximizing the talents of former WWE superstars. Wyatt spent valuable time in the WWE main event scene, but he was often a victim of horrible booking decisions. With a creative wrestling persona, a giant fan base and superb microphone skills, Wyatt has all the makings to be a main event star anywhere, and AEW officials should strongly consider signing him. WWE has filed trademarks relating to Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar ahead of their clash at Crown Jewel. The two trademarks filed by WWE are the Soaplexorcist and the Suplexorcist. The two names have been used by Paul Heyman, Reigns' special counsel, to describe the head of the table in recent weeks. WWE has filed trademarks for both names to use on various merchandise for Roman Reigns. The Suplexorcist trademark registration is intended to cover the categories of clothing, namely, tops, shirts, jackets, and many more. The Soaplexorcist nickname is a combination of the term exorcist and Lesnar's trademark suplex move. The nickname comes days before Roman Reigns' clash against Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. Roman Reigns was confronted by Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam following the Tribal Chief's epic main event clash against John Cena. Lesnar, who returned for the first time to WWE since last year's WrestleMania, is being projected as a babyface in his current feud with Reigns. The duo has gone head-to-head several times in their WWE careers, with their first coming way back in 2015 at WrestleMania 31. They faced each other thrice in 2018, with Lesnar getting the better of Reigns in the first two meetings, but the latter winning the third encounter to win the Universal Championship for the first time. Reigns' current reign as Universal Champion has exceeded 400 days, just 100 days shy of Lesnar's record for the most days as Universal Champion in a single reign.